What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mag. So this is your latest updates on Newcastle United transfer news, and also keep an eye out on the channel as well for the match preview for the game against the K-League All-Stars, which is tomorrow, of course, in South Korea. But let's get into the transfer news. So let's start off with, of course, the news that broke last night from Keith Downey, who was saying that Aaron Ramsdale, of course, is being talked about with a possible loan move, heavy fee on a loan move as well, with the option to buy for Newcastle on Aaron Ramsdale. Now, you know what my thoughts are on Aaron Ramsdale. I've said it many times on the channel before. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but if Newcastle's looking at him, like I always say, I'm willing to give the guy a chance. If Eddie wants to bring him in, then clearly Eddie sees something in the lad, and we'll have to back that decision. We'll have to look at that decision in a more positive light and see, you know, what this lad can do. When you look at what he's done, you know, when he was at Arsenal, he was a really good goalkeeper between the sticks. It's just that lack of concentration is what is the niggling point for me. But as my brother said, you know, that could easily be fixed by Eddie. We know what Eddie's like. We know what Eddie can do with players. He can work magic with players. And you just have to look at players like Joe Linton for that. You have to look at other players in the team as well, the likes of Murphy and what Murphy did last season. So if, you know, Eddie can do that with them lads, then surely he could work wonders with Aaron Ramsdale. Obviously, Aaron Ramsdale's already worked under Eddie in the past as well, when Eddie was at Bournemouth. So they've got that to go with on the deal as well. The fact that they've already worked together. And he was, of course, like I say, the goalkeeper at Bournemouth when Eddie was there. And Eddie was the manager that actually brought him in at Bournemouth, of course. But we're in talks with Southampton on a deal. It looks like it is getting closer to being done. There is a loan deal with a heavy fee, is what is being mentioned by many media outlets, of course, and an option to buy. I think it is probably wise to go with maybe a loan deal on this one and not just jump straight in and buy Aaron Ramsdale, just purely because of his track record. You know, other than Arsenal, he hasn't really had the best of records at other teams. So, you know, that is an area that we obviously need to be paying close attention to when looking at this deal. But he's wanting first team football. We could probably offer him that, considering that Nicky Pope has had 2 shoulder injuries now. So I don't think we're going to be playing Pope for every single game this season. We've got Champions League football, FA Cup, we've got League Cup, we've got Premier League. You know, that's a lot of games. So we don't want to just be playing Nicky Pope in all of them games. And of course, we do have other goalkeepers as well, the likes of Dubravka, Blackie as well. And then we've got Gillespie and Ruddy as well, who could be in there. But Ramsdale would be coming in. He's played really well for Arsenal in the Champions League. So, you know, you never know. He could be a really good player forward. So let's get behind this deal if it does get done. And let's, you know, give the lads a chance. I'm willing to do that. As I always say, you know, I will give everybody a chance. Everybody deserves a chance. And I think, you know, that Aaron Ramsdale deal could be quite interesting. We'll just have to wait and see on, you know, what happens going forward, because it is advancing quite quickly by the looks of it as well. So we might, you know, see something a bit more on that in the coming days. But moving away from that, we'll talk about, of course, the news I talked about yesterday of Benjamin Sesko. There is now, of course, another update on that. In Newcastle are readying an opening bid of 72 to 74 million euros for RB Leipzig's striker Benjamin Sesko, according to Nicolo Shaira. Of course, he is saying Sesko already has agreement in principle with Newcastle on a deal until 2030, according to him. At 379,000 followers on Twitter, this guy's got. So maybe we could take that is a credible source, but like everything, we do have to take it with a pinch of salt. But if that is the case and he has already agreed terms on a personal term with Newcastle, then that would be really, really good, because you heard my thoughts on Benjamin Sesko. He would be a huge coup for Newcastle to go course into our attack when you put him alongside the likes of Anthony Gordon and Alanga. That is a really deadly attack. Final steps, of course, Newcastle now working on closing terms with Leipzig on the fee, and Romano obviously had to say his piece on this as well, saying Sesko's decision is expected this week, according to what Romano was saying. Newcastle's pitch, of course, we made a pitch to him, and we have said, of course, in the reports saying that we made a pitch, that Sesko would be the focal point of the project. He would be our leading striker for years to come. So, like I say, take these two news pieces with a pinch of salt. But moving on to the last piece, of course, of this video, and that is, of course, to talk about the recent update on Alexander Isak. Luis Diaz of Liverpool has been sold to Bayern Munich, and Liverpool are, of course, been a huge admirer of Alexander Isak. They've been tapping him up, to be honest, and he is, of course, according to them, their next big signing. Isak apparently is interested, according to reports, in exploring these options, and according to the likes of Romano and Ornstein, they're saying that his options are Liverpool. Well, he's not talking to Saudi clubs, as he has been offered a 700k a week contract from Al Hilal, but hasn't even buckled at that. He hasn't even jumped at the moment of going for that deal. But Liverpool are, of course, according to reports, prepared to break the bank, but we still haven't seen an offer yet from Liverpool on Isak. All we'll keep hearing is that they're prepared to break the bank. They're prepared to do the club record. They're prepared to do the British record. They're prepared to do all of these different things, but they haven't done any of them. So maybe we need to start seeing if Liverpool seriously are interested in Isak and they want Isak, then maybe they need to stop the chit chat and get to the business end of this deal and put money on the table. At the end of the day, we either accept the deal or reject the deal, or depending on what the offer is. You know, Liverpool at the moment, reports are saying that they're offering 100 million now. The reports previous to that were saying that they were offering 120 million, so it's went down. It hasn't went up, it's went down, which, you know, that in itself isn't going to be enough to get Alexander Isak. The club have said, according to reports, you know, that it's 150 million. But then the club have also said that he's not for sale. At the moment, he's currently got a groin problem, a thigh injury. That is why he isn't with the team in, of course, Asia. And then we've seen Kieran Trippier come out, you know, and say his piece, saying that his phone is open 24/7 if Isak wants to chat, and that reasons that Isak isn't with the team is because of a thigh problem and all of that stuff. So at the moment, this whole Isak saga just seems to be going on and on and on. And I think either Liverpool need to shit or get off the shitter, because at the moment it's just noise, and that is all it is. It's just absolute noise from Liverpool, and they haven't put in any formal bids. They haven't put anything to Newcastle United. All they've done is just kept saying, we will break the bank, we will go for club record, we will do this, we will do that, but they haven't done any of it. So, like I say, you know, shit or get off the shitter, because this is just absolute noise right now, and it's just pathetic. It really is. And that is my, you know, point on the whole Isak deal right now. Let us know your thoughts, of course, about the other transfer news talked about in this video. You know, let us know about the Aaron Ramsdale one. Would you take him on a loan with an option to buy? Would you take, of course, Benjamin Sesko, we talked about yesterday? Quite a few people are seen in the comments of that video saying that they would take Benjamin Sesko and that he would be a really good player. And then, of course, there is the other talk about Johan Wissa as well, but we'll have to wait on that one because, like I said in the video yesterday, Brentford have put that on hold until, of course, they can find themselves a solid replacement before, of course, seeing what we do with negotiations on that deal for Johan Wissa. But anyway, hit that like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. How are the lads?